Hey everyone, we've decided that we need to brighten up this outdoor area, especially right here at the front door. I don't know how many times we've come home at night. There's no lights on out here. We do have a porch light inside on the travel trailer, but it is in the porch. We really can't see a whole lot out here. So we're just kind of guiding ourselves in the dark, unloading groceries or whatnot. So I went ahead and I picked up a pair of inexpensive light fixtures to go on the porch, and also picked up some LED, so are the E26 style 12 volt lights. So they're full size light bulbs that'll fit in a regular socket, but they're 12 volts. So they'll just run straight off the batteries. And I've already tied the wires in. I've already run the wires, one over here and one back there, to the switch for the porch light. So we can turn it on and off, with one switch, both the porch light and these outdoor lights. And that way, I was afraid if we were going to put them on a separate switch, we could forget about them all night. And, if we don't need these, we don't really need them on. They're just going to use up power. I honestly don't know how much power these things use, but they're LED, so, they shouldn't use too much. Just kind of keep an eye on things. If two is too many, we can just unscrew one of them or disconnect one of them and just have one. I did test them out with a 9-volt battery. They are pretty bright, even with just a little 9-volt battery, so 12 volts will probably do quite a bit better. Now, as you can see, that's right there. And up there, already got holes. That one is really close to a 2x4, so I'm going to be feeding the wires inside to wire them up. That one there, the closest 2x4 is up here, so there's plenty of space. So I just fed them through. I'm kind of hoping that there's enough space in here to have the wire nuts, but we'll see. It looks like it. Alright, before you say anything, yes, I know we're supposed to have this in an enclosure, all the wire nuts and everything. That would pass code, but this is low voltage, it's only temporary. I mean, eventually this whole thing's going to get torn down. And I think we've actually decided the house is actually going to go, right here where the camper is. The original idea was have it out there somewhere. But, yeah. So, either way, it's definitely going to be temporary. And as you can see, I have 2 red wires. Somehow I used up all my black wire for the negative, so all I have is a bunch of red. I don't know, the next time I'll be going into town to like Home Depot or whatever to pick up some more wire. So I just marked the negative with black tape. Good enough for me. I know what it is. It'll be easy enough for anybody with a multimeter to figure it out too. So let's go ahead and get these lights up. Alright, like I said, this first one, I'm just going to be shoving the wires through, and then going to be putting the wire nuts on the other side. And there's just going to be a simple screw on. I do have all the hardware, I do have all the hardware to connect it to the junction box and everything. I'm going to be saving that, but just go through the hole, have regular wood screws to hold it on there, and to make it black, I'll put a Sharpie on the back end of the screws. Alright, there's one. Alright, so for this guy, I'm going to go ahead and just make the connections out here, fold it up. Hopefully there'll be enough room underneath this to house everything. If not, it'll just get shoved through as well. Now if you're going to do something similar to this, and you grab the 120 volt light fixtures, the household 120 volt color code, this is called hot, this is called neutral. The translation for DC 12 volts is positive, negative, positive ground, whatever you want to call it. And I do have all the mounting hardware and everything for this, just in case we want to use this fixture for, when we put together our house, because this is how we want to wire it. We want, the 12 volts, but we want standard size bulbs, just in case we decide to sell it later on. We can just convert all the bulbs to 120 volts, just pull the 12 volt out, put in the 120 volts, and then put in regular 120 volt service where the 12 volt service is. And then as far as the wiring goes, it's all going to be built to code, wired up to code. The gauge of the wire is going to be for 12 volt instead of 120, because it has to be thicker for 12 volts since it's direct current. But anyways, this is all 12 volts right here anyways, so we'll go ahead and get started here. We'll strip those off first. Now, of course, before you make any connections or play with any electricity, make sure that there's no power. And I already double checked. And hook up the negative first, so it's negative, or what you will have is black wire. The black wire will go to the white wire on the fixture. Do this, and when you tighten these wire nuts down, really reef on them. You gotta make sure they won't come loose. When I was pretending to be an electrician, the guy who was teaching me was telling me this is one of the big reasons for them to get called out, is the homeowners doing their own work and they're not tightening these down far enough. They got to make sure they're nice and tight, and you got to give each wire a good yank, make sure it doesn't come out, and you can move on to the next one. Make sure they're, you don't have to twist them around each other, but you can. If you do, make sure both wire ends are about the same, so the wire nut will grab them both. There we go. And just hold this up here. That's pretty good. Got to make sure I don't screw into any of the actual wires.
It's that time that you got, you snuck out and forgot. Your parents were so mad, but man, she was so hot. That time you got too drunk, the first time you blew chunks. It's okay, we don't need to time. First time in romance.
Makes me wish I had my impact done instead of this. Alright, now if you do end up getting the same setup, or at least the bulbs, I'll go ahead and have a link down in the description. I'll have a link for both of these just in case. I mean, I think they are pretty neat. Gotta play with that one over there. It's sticking out a little bit, but it's also not on an even surface. On these guys, there's an adjustment here. And of course, you can twist it, like side to side. Make sure it's straight up and down. But, I'm gonna go ahead and get that guy wired up there, right there. I'm looking through the camera here to see where I'm pointed at. And then we'll go ahead and turn them on, see what happens, see what they look like. And we'll test them out at night. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I got them all mounted up. I'm going to adjust this. We'll go turn them on.
I don't get what I want, I get what I need. Every single day I'm heading off to my dream, and I get everything that I damn well please.
It's pretty bright even just in the daytime.
I'm the only one that really want it. I'm the only one that's really on it. I'm just being honest. I'm just doing everything I promise, because I want it bad enough that I'ma make it as an artist, and I know I'm not the
Yeah,
smartest,
pretty good looking.
I promise you that I'ma be the one that worked the hardest, because I promise you that I'm just getting started, and I promise you that my skills are getting
Go ahead and the next part of the video will be in the dark, so yeah, there we have it, guys. It looks pretty good. If you like this video and you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can follow along as we work towards being self-sufficient with our off-grid homestead. Until next time, keep kicking up dust. Oh, chisel.